Common values. Common goals. Common sense. The Common Sense Podcast with Semi Bird.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 17, or as I like to put it, my next job interview. So today we're going to do some more questions and answering, and it's going to be focused on issues. But as always, we're going to take any question that you have, and I'm going to do my best to answer. And for all of you who are tuning in for the first time, this is my way to get to know you, for your way to get to know me. And we do this live. So live streaming, Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and we have questions. And we did something different. I just logged into our email, and so I was able to access our questions, so I didn't have to print them at the last minute and run down the stairs with them. So we should have our questions popping up here in a minute. And as always, our questions are going to be a surprise, no research. We're just going to do them raw, like our questions on our panel. And, Jaylene. So I want to say a surprise friend, one of my dearest friends, dear friends from the Department of Energy. Jaylene, I'm not going to say your last name because my friend works she's back in D.C., but I love you, sweetie, and good to see you tune in. Thank you so much. I miss you, and we're going to be out there to visit you soon. So I had to give you a special shout out. That's how we do. We never forget those who we love. So welcome, everybody. And where do I start? You know, I always start our podcast with saying thank you and giving you a quick update. So last week we had a couple caucuses. Grant County, we came in, I think it was 84%. We did our Clark County caucus, and on that caucus, again, Clark County, another notable mention and shout out to Clark County. Clark County has been with us from the very beginning. They've given to our campaign so much. And I want to say thank you, Clark County, for hosting us down there and for contributing and supporting us the way you have. It means a lot. And some have reported over 90% delegate support for us out of Clark County. I'm going to be humble, and we'll just keep it like maybe 89.9. But things are looking good in Clark County as of the last weekend's caucuses. And we had a fundraiser event. And I have to say this. My friend has done very well. And I have two friends, husband and wife. The husband, he came from Africa with $96 in his pocket. He is a great American dream story. A company he and his wife put together, over 6,500 employees. She, Hilltop Tacoma, nurse, single mom, working hard. One of my friends, also from Tacoma, inner city, her son and his son, and my friend, played together. And she always welcomed him into her place. And they had meals, and they became a family. And here I am now in the future, not too long ago, last year, running for governor. And my friend Tommy says, you need to go meet my friend. And I had no idea. And so we drive to this very exclusive area and to this beautiful gated mansion and this beautiful home. And I met these beautiful people. And the reason I talk about the mansion and the employees, remember what I said, where they came from and how they started. The American dream. The American dream. Never give up. And these people are as down to earth as you can be. Nothing but love, hard work, and caring so much for Washington State. They really do. And I just want to give a shout out to Alan, Sabrina. Thank you for hosting that amazing fundraiser over the weekend. It was beautiful. And everybody who attended, thank you very much. And guys, again, when you hear fundraiser, I want you to understand, you didn't see the Lexuses and Lamborghinis in the parking lot. You saw 73 Ford pickup trucks. You saw Toyotas. You saw a whole variety of vehicles, because that's just the way it is sometimes, right? We the people. We were keeping it real, and we had a good time. So that's it. Let's go right to your questions. I'm going to look to the left. Oh, I see my friends here. Karen, D, oh, thank you. Oh, and Frugal, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me pull up our question sheet. And so this is from James B. James sent like 10,000 questions. James, well done. You get the best bang for your buck when you do it this way. But let's go with the root cause of it looks like of James' questions. If you were elected governor, will you keep Washington as one of the sanctuary states, or will you remove it? So, no, we spoke of this before, but not on the show. So, James, thank you for bringing this up. I will, on day one, declare that Washington is no longer a sanctuary state. We bring compassion to those who are suffering. Those citizens of Washington state who are living at or below the poverty line, those veterans who are living on the streets, those citizens who are reaching out and need help that live right here in our state. We're going to take care of our family first. And that only makes sense. Take care of those who are in your own house before you start inviting others over. Get your house in order first. Our house is not in order. And illegal immigration puts a strain on our system, a strain on our budget, a strain on our schools, our hospitals, our economy, and I can go on, but you get it. It's not from compassion. It's not from any other reason except that this is something we need to do, and I will do it. So, James, there it is. And someone said, and then his next question, and then we'll move on. James said, I came across a disturbing Public Disclosure Commission complaint filed last year alleging violation of campaign practices, all kinds of things, and it looks like it came from individuals who were supporting Dave Reichert. And yes, we've spoke on this quite a bit. There were individuals who support the other gentleman, and they filed a PDC complaint, 3 PDC complaints. They were put together by the PDC, the Public Disclosure Commission, and there were over 100 allegations against our campaign. Last month, every single one of those allegations were dismissed with 0 enforcement action. No fines, no penalty, no enforcement action whatsoever. So, James, we're going to keep moving on. I'm hoping that I addressed your questions, and we have more coming in. But thank you. And I'm looking to our message board right now. And so let's see here. Kathy, I see a question, but all I see is that true? So let's see. I'm sure there's another question up here someplace. And I'm looking on our message board because I don't want to just read off the sheet and lose our messengers. But I don't see a question. And with that being said, all right. Then here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we are going to move back to the sheet. So this comes from Dan G. Do you know of a decision to exclude you from the Pierce County Convention? Was it made unilaterally by the chairman without a meeting of I believe he means the precinct committee officers, which I am a precinct committee officer. I'm also a party chairman, Benton County. If so, did it violate the rules, or was this his own, essentially, this is his own doing? And isn't this cause for the Washington State Republican Party to intervene? I've had a lot of traffic on this, a lot of emails, a lot of messaging, a lot of concerns, because it just seems so wrong. You saw what was happening at the national level, trying to get people off the ballot, canceling people, targeting people, all of this election interference activity that just doesn't seem right, because it's not right. When you blackball someone from a convention, when you tell a governor candidate who's one of the leading governor candidates, you are not welcome in Pierce County, are you speaking for the precinct committee officers? Well, the fact of the matter is, no, he is not. But it's not just the chair. It was several of the leadership team, and I can't name, nor would I name the individuals, because there's no value. This convention actually happened last Saturday. As I understand it, there was a huge demonstration out in the parking lot where some of our supporters apparently showed up with tables, and they had bird swag and sign waving, and they were spirited and having fun, and people were honking horns, and they had a good time. But they did the right thing. They still had our presence there. It was just in the parking lot and not inside where the delegates. I'm going to move on from this. Dan, I appreciate the question, and I want everybody out there to understand, I'm not going to go low on this thing. There's no value in going low. When they go low, we know why they're doing it. We're doing well. We're winning on the west side where they said we're going to get crushed. King County, Snohomish County, up and down the I-5 corridor, we're doing very, very well. And we know how we're doing in Eastern Washington. So they have to resort to these types of tactics. Just consider something. When we get to name calling and you start calling Democrats names and talking about election integrity and election interference and how bad Democrats are, look at your own house, Republicans. This is the Pierce County Republican Party who did this. To a Republican Party precinct committee officer, a Republican Party chairman, a member of the executive board of the Washington State Republican Party, and a Republican running for governor, declared with Pierce County as a Republican. It's not about party, and nor should it be. It should be about the candidate. And that's why I'm applying for this job, because I'm about fed up with party politics. And I hope you are too. It is dirty on both sides, and we just saw it. And we saw all the stuff that they did. The PDC. You file PDC complaints because you're representing one candidate and you have that other candidate. So we're going to file all these PDC complaints, and then we're going to go on to social media, and we're going to talk about all the shady things going on financially in the Byrd campaign. And then the PDC dismisses everything. We must not do business this way. And so while I'm finishing up on this question, and I'm going to go to the message board again looking for questions, for my supporters, once again, I will ask, please refrain from lowering yourselves to these tactics. Do not do it. Do not attack people's character. Do not attack their families. And do not resort to calling names. It doesn't give value to anything, and it certainly doesn't represent me as a candidate, because I don't do that. So, something to think about. We have a freedom of speech, and I respect that. But that's not how I conduct myself. What are you doing to post the laws that you are writing now? Will you pass a law to get rid of Eric? Oh, thank you. And this is from Melnick, 1978. This is on the message. And I'll go back up to see if I missed anybody else. So I hope the ERIC system, this is the voter registration system. So yes, I will be writing an election integrity bill. I've said this in previous podcasts, and those bills that I will be writing, Melnick, will be posted on our website, as are the solutions with actions, law and order, mental health and addiction, education, economy, all those things I like to post so you can see what I'm going to do. But votes will be in person. Voter ID. It'll require that we actually honor the law, because there is a federal law, by the way, that says we must clean the voter rolls. And also, there's a federal law that says you must be, in a state law, you must be an American citizen to vote. So we're going to make sure that American citizens vote. We're going to make sure it's fair, free, accessible, and legal. The best way to do that is in-person voting. I cannot do that, number one, as a candidate. I cannot do that as a governor, but I can propose the bill, and I'm going to send the bill to you, the people, before I send it to the legislature, so that you see what I've written. Everyone wants election integrity. Democrats, Republicans, Independents. It's statistically factual. So we're going to write it. We're going to propose it. And then once we've had time for the public to see it, I will give it to the legislature. And then that way, the people are now tuned in to what's happening in the people's house with the people's bill on election integrity. So Melnick, I hope I answered your question. I'll look for another question over here since we did a couple off of the sheet. Let's see. Dawn Hooten, Dawn, I usually don't like to use last names. Dawn asks, what are your thoughts on smart meters? Well, smart meters, there are typically two major concerns about smart meters. Number one is the health concern. The health concern generates more around the fact that smart meters are Wi-Fi. Therefore, there is continuous electromagnetic frequency or signal generated, electromagnetic waves. Strike that. Electromagnetic waves that are continuously generated. Over a period of time, some scientists have said that could be adversely dangerous to your health. Experts say that smart meters have not proven to be dangerous to your health. You see what's happening. The other concern with smart meters are privacy. It's wireless. Therefore, can it be hacked? Well, again, the experts are saying, and it depends on who you talk to, are saying, well, it can't be hacked. Well, coming from the intelligence sector, I'd like to say that everything can almost be hacked. We'd like to say in Intel that we know that there are things that can't, but I'm sure there are very smart people out there who say, oh, you don't know yet. So we'll leave that as it is. But those are the two major concerns, Dawn. Number one, health. Number two, privacy, as I understand it. Thank you for your question. I appreciate that. And I'm going to keep going. We're going to go back to the sheet. Again, Dan G was the last. This comes from John H. And if this is my friend John H., he's an American patriot, and I appreciate him very much. I consider John a friend. I haven't seen him for a while, since last summer. He's doing some work in his house. Good to see your name, my friend. And again, this is talking about Pierce County not inviting us to the convention. And this question must have came in after our last podcast and right before the weekend. But yes, it did happen, but that's okay. We're doing well. We had good people attend the Pierce County Republican Party caucus. And let me be clear on this. Just because a few individuals do something that would say, from common sense standards, be ethically wrong and go against the values of what we would say are conservative values, whatever that means anymore. I almost want to retract what I just said. But there are good people in the Pierce County Republican Party. Friends of mine, Miss Brenda and many more. So, and then also, there are good people in Pierce County Republican Party who don't support me. And that is okay. And I value you, I respect you, and some of them are probably friends. And that is okay. Because you know what? This is America last time I checked, and they have every single right to not support me. And that is the other thing I want to say to our supporters. Keep that in mind, please. Just because they don't agree with us or they don't support your candidate does not make them a bad person. Just a little grace. You know I'm not a soft person. Well, no, I am a soft person. I'm a warrior. But I love everyone. But you know I'm making sense. We don't always agree. But just because someone doesn't support me does not make them a bad person. It doesn't make them a rhino either. They just have a different candidate that they choose to support. It's all good. And here's another question. What are your thoughts on electrification of all homes? So this is Smart Meter, and this is Suzanne D. Susan also asked, so Dawn just did the smart meters, but Susan also asked about 5G cell towers. So we'll just do the 5G cell towers. So I have a background in communications. I know you guys are, what isn't it? That was one of my first jobs in the military, going back to my Marine Corps days. I was in communications. That was my specialty. Microwave, high frequency, low frequency. 5G cell towers. Theoretically, 5G cell towers emit radio frequency waves, and those are high frequency. at a regular difference, our distance, because the towers are so high, at the height to where a human being stands on the ground, they're designed so that that is enough distance as it is. Because at that distance, radio frequency waves should not be able to pierce the body, theoretically. But proximity to radio frequency waves can be hazardous to the health. So there are messages out there that says, well, because we're going 5G, no, it can be a danger. Again, I'm not going to discount what other people's beliefs are, but those are the facts. My thoughts on it is, well, I will default because I know communications. Well, as best I know communications. I don't see the threat with 5G at this time, but I'm open. I will always listen, and if there is a threat, well, then we'll take action on it. So I will never shut the door. And I don't want to say skeptical, but we've already gone through the whole science thing, right? So we do want to err on the side of protecting our citizens, but also protecting the rights of our citizens. You should not just show up and say, we're going to put a smart meter in your house and you have no choice on it. We're going to do something which could bring hazards to your health, and you're just going to do it, and you have no choice, such as mandates, which, by the way, is not a law. That's right. I'm of the age where we had civics training when I was a child, so in school. We need to bring that back. I heard today that Washington State announced that marginalized citizens can become lawyers without passing the bar. Is that true? That actually just came out today. I'm still reading in on this. This is most likely speaking to the bar exam, not the education required to become a lawyer. You will still be required to have your Juris Doctorate in law. But this is probably one of those equity moves to get more marginalized citizens into the legal field as practitioners. So, Kathy, Joe, I hope I answered your question. I want to get the facts, but I did peruse it because I try to keep my fingers on the pulse of what's happening in Olympia. I knew that Governor Inslee had 300 bills that he needed to sign just last week that were left over. It's ridiculous how many bills they put forward in the House. It's like a sausage-making factory in there. And you wonder, where's the quality? Why are they in such a rush to ram this stuff down our throats without even giving citizens the time to review? It's like bam, bam, bam. So I don't support this notion at all. The whole diversity, equity, and inclusion concept comes from more of a Marxism belief, that ideological foundation. This is America, where Dr. King fought for equality of opportunity, not equity of outcome. We saw what they tried to do with the universities. Because Asian students were doing so well on their college entrance exams, they tried to bar Asian students. The last time I checked, an Asian American was a minority. We don't know anymore because they keep changing things. They keep adding things. They're changing our language. They're changing science. But we're going to hold the line to common sense. We know what civil rights is. We know the Constitution, which is why I talk about the Constitution every 5 seconds. It is not a far-right name. It's not a word. It's not a Republican word. It's an American word. It's the foundation of American law. It's the foundation of our republic, a constitutional republic. And I will keep using those phrases until my last breath. So America values all citizens, regardless of color, but we're going to make sure we break down barriers. We're going to make sure we're lifting people up out of poverty and despair. We can acknowledge that racism exists in our state and in our country. We know that because we have crazy, ignorant, knuckle-dragging people out there. Still, we'll pray for them. We'll try to educate them. We will demonstrate through our actions that we are better. We'll help them through our actions. We will bring real diversity, if you will. Diversity of thought. There's more to that. Oh boy, so much more to it. But no, I don't support that. We need to get back to common sense, my friends. We need to get back to common sense. So, again, we'll keep looking for your questions. And I'm going to go back down here to the sheet. Let's see what we have here. Deborah R. Are you going to change the initiative or what it's called? Parents won't have to give permission for teachers to take their kids. Okay. This is Senate Bill 5599. Now, I have so many. I don't memorize all the Senate bills or House bills. So many of you will say, well, he does, or he memorizes the Constitution. I know the Constitution very well. Yes, I pay attention to what's happening in Olympia because while I'm applying for a job, I need to. And I did even before I was applying for this job. But this I know about because I fought against it and I signed R101, which was an initiative that just came short because it was last minute, I think it was June. But yes, no, I don't support it. And I think it's wrong. It's not being prejudiced against anybody's lifestyle because I'm not here to judge people's lifestyle. Again, I'm here to protect everybody's civil liberties. But that being said, children are off limits. Let children be children and let parents parent. Parents' rights. Parents are the primary stakeholders in their children's upbringing, not the school system and not the government. Parents are the primary stakeholders in their children's education, not the school system and not the government. I will do everything in my power to repeal that bill because no one should be able to take a parent's child away because a little child says to a counselor, well, at age 8, I think maybe I want to be a girl, or I think maybe I want to be a boy. You don't do that without a parent knowing. A loving parent, a parent that's not abusing a child. And just because a parent refuses to say, Johnny, no, I'm not going to call you Jenny. We're not doing that, my friends. And that is not being political. That is common sense. Parents' rights. All right. And are you pro-life? Well, yes, I am. Who's not? Think about that. Valuing life from conception through natural death. We should all love life. But I understand when people say, well, I don't want you to tell me what I do with my body. I get that. That's a soundbite. 9.02.100 is the RCW for Washington State. People call it the abortion law. Life of the mother, viability of the fetus. That's the law as written. That's Washington's law voted in by the people multiple times. The governor's job is not to change laws. I can propose laws. I could veto bills. But under Article 3, it's the governor's job to enforce the laws. But if you look at that law, it aligns a lot with what people in D.C. on the Republican chambers are talking about. Not taking sides. I'm just saying stop with this war between pro this and anti this. And why are we not talking about, instead of attacking a young person, a young woman who finds herself in a difficult position, let's give her the support she needs so she can hear that baby's heartbeat. Let's give her that prenatal care. Let's make sure she has that financial support. Let's make sure she knows that she has an option for adoption. Let's make sure we're going into those communities and educating these young women and these young men, making sure young women understand their self-worth is of the highest, and young men are accountable and responsible. Let's start being proactive and preventive and stop fighting over something that we already have a law for until the laws change. You want to change the law? Let's change the law. You want an initiative? Do the initiative. We have 3 that just became law, and we have 3 more that we are going to be working hard to ensure that they pass. And so I hope I answered your question. I don't apologize for who I am or what I believe, but it's the law. We don't take away people's rights, ever. It's the Constitution. I've said that. The Constitution. That's what I abide by. Not my beliefs, your beliefs, anybody's beliefs. It's the Constitution of the United States, Article 1, Section 2 of the Washington State Constitution. The United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land, according to the Washington State Constitution. So I will obey the Constitution until a law is changed, and then we'll do something different. Okay, checking over here, see if I missed anything. Thank you, Never Summer. Love you too. When are we going to the range? Oh, yes. Yes, indeedy. I will be back for women's firearm orientation with my friend RJ this summer. I'm never going to let RJ down, and I will be doing that again. We instruct, we orient, and we help young ladies and ladies of all ages know what it's like to have a firearm in your hands and how to use it safely and see what you think. Where do I get a yard sign, Bon? It should be on birdforgovernor.com. And we have them at all of our events. And let's see, I'm just looking for other questions here. You guys, I apologize if I miss it, and you guys can just retype. I'm going to scroll back up just to make sure. Then I'll go to my page. And thank you guys for your love. Will you not enforce Smartmatic energy meter? No. So Debbie, this comes from Debbie B. So Debbie, we have the smart meters that have already been installed. You bring up a good question. Now I'm going to pause here. I'm checking the time. I'm going to pause here because I've spoken on smart meters. Now Debbie asks if I, as governor, will enforce them. Debbie, you've given me pause. And the reason you give me pause is because some people have no problem with smart meters and some people do. I think, and I should have said that when we were talking about it, is that I think people should have a choice in anything that they have concerned with. So smart meters should be a choice. It should not be mandatory. That is my position on it. So Debbie, and please retype if I did not answer your question. And by the way, Debbie also added that they're dangerous and known to start fires. Well, that would be a concern, and that should be all over the news. And I know what some would say, well, we get it, the news and etc. But Debbie, I hope I answered your question. Nothing should be required that brings harm to our citizens, and I won't abide by it. And it's not rocket science. This doesn't take us a long time to debate about it and look into it. If there is a danger, oh, trust me, I have the intestinal fortitude and personal courage to say no, quick and in a hurry. And as people will tell you, I'm not afraid to stand against a system that takes away the rights of our citizens, ever. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Okay. If I miss anything, you guys have to hold me correct because there's a lot of stuff here. And I thought I saw a last name of a dear young friend. Aiden is there. Aiden is one of my young, dear friends. He's an amazing young man. Aiden, it's good seeing your name. Oh, my goodness, I saw you again. There you are. Yes, I need to see you at the state. This is a young man. We met. Gosh, Aiden, you're going to have to help me out. I want to say you were 14 when we first met at a Lincoln Day dinner in Clallam County over a year ago. We had Aiden over to the house. I consider him like family. His father served honorably, a good man, and he's just a wonderful young man. And he's down there in Olympia on a student program as one of those aides. I know there's a better word for it, but Aiden, I'm proud of you, and thank you. Thank you, my friend. It's good to see you. And my friend Gina C. Oh, my ever-ready superstar. What about the abuse of emergency powers that Inslee abused? Oh, so Gina is probably talking about the mandates and the masking and vaccinations and the lockdowns. And so I'm very much on the record on this, and it bothers me immensely, but I want to be quick in how I respond because I get emotional about this. As your governor, I will never shut down our state. I told a reporter this yesterday. At best, it would be a phased approach, which would mean the first step is to assess the scenario, the situation, the scene. What are the facts? What are the facts? we did not have all the information we needed, enough to shut down our schools, to shut down our businesses, our economy, our places of worship, to bring forth mandates that tells our citizens that you must get a vaccination, but yet the pharmaceutical companies get a get out of jail free card. They are putting out a drug, making billions of dollars, not FDA approved, and there's no liability for them. But we're going to make it mandatory, or you lose your job and your livelihood that you maybe gone to college for, you went to a trade school for, or you hold a vital role that we, the citizens, we, the people of Washington State, need. Law enforcement, first responders, our firefighters, our nurses, our doctors. I can go on and on and on. Those who operate our ferry system. That was the first thing that decimated our ferry system. We lost all of those personnel because of the vaccinations. And then they said, we're going to ease up off of that when they ended the mandates, which, again, not a law. And then they said, but enforceable as if it is a law. So it's not a law, but it's enforceable as if it is a law. Are you hearing this? If it's not a law, how is it enforceable as if it is a law? It already doesn't make sense. Gina, let me just say this also. Yes, medical freedom matters. And no, I will never support the violation of our citizens' rights. Article 1, Section 1. Again, power is inherent in the people, and government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed, and it is government's job to protect and to maintain the individual rights of citizens. It was number 1, Article 1, Section 1 of the Washington State Constitution. They put that first for a reason. And look at all those senators and representatives that put their names to give Jay Inslee all those powers. And again, I'm not calling names. I'm not attacking. But I am the only candidate running out of the top 4. I'm the only one in the top 2 as Republican who did not support the mandates. The other gentleman did, wrote on it, wrote an article on it. That's not me. And I'm not blaming him either. He has every right to his beliefs. Maybe his beliefs have evolved. I don't know. We'll see. It's up to you. Do you want to risk it? I don't know. But Gina, I hope I answered your question. No, we're not going to violate citizens' rights like that ever again. And I'm going to go back to the sheet because we have to give some respect to those who were proactive and sent theirs in. And Laura H., and let's see here, will you as governor be able to revamp our Medicaid system in Washington so that only Washington residents living here for established time, yes, and current citizens can qualify? So this is the point. Think about this. Our governor has doubled the budget. This is not a blame. Again, it's just the facts of how it is. We'll be talking about Bob Ferguson when those questions on law enforcement comes up. Please ask me. But this is just a fact. When you allow open borders, don't forget we have a northern border, which is compromised. Some of those individuals who find themselves in the Joint Terrorism Task Force list, some of us know what that's about, mostly come from the northern border. No one talks about that, not nearly as much. But illegal immigration, as I said, why will I declare us no longer a sanctuary state and enforce our laws and make sure that ICE is notified when a criminal illegal immigrant pops up on the radar? That's right. Because it puts a strain not only on our economy, as I said, it puts a strain on our school system, our health system. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So yes, Deborah, I'm ready to roll. I've got you, and my screen's popping all over the place. So if actually it was Laura. I apologize, Laura H. Yes, Laura, I've got you on that one. And then we're going to go right to Elizabeth K. What is your strategy to win King County? Well, we're already doing it. So I say that with humility and gratefulness to our team and our King County team and our citizens in King County. and I'm speaking specifically to the King County conservatives who have rallied to support and getting amazing delegates to go to Spokane next month to choose me as their governor, so that we can get the state party nomination for governor. We on those polls, those delegate polls, came in at 62 to or higher percent, depending on which poll. But yes, we're doing good. But it's not just conservatives. It's everybody else, because outside of the conservative Republican bubble, and that's where I started. I started campaigning in the inner city of Seattle, where I started when I was 6 years old. Mom brought us up from East Oakland. So that's where I started, meeting with those communities, valuing those voices, because those voices had never been engaged. And I don't want anybody saying Semi Bird's playing the black card, he's playing the race card, because I've had people on that left spectrum of the Republican Party already come after me for that. But you know what? You go right ahead, because you may have forgotten that it was a Republican Party that supported civil rights. You may want to recognize that once again. And you may want to get back to that again, by the way. So I started valuing all American voices. And I went into those communities. And let me tell you this. Again, doesn't matter whether you're a Black American, an Asian American, Hispanic American, or a white American. You are an American. But a Black businessman and a white businessman is a businessman or businesswoman. You guys get this. It's common sense. Over-taxation, over-regulation hurts us all. I'm a small businessman, where I was until I retired to do this. Oh, yes, employment, payroll taxes, quarterlies. Oh, I felt that sting. Labor and industry. Oh, I felt that sting. I know all the stings of state government, Department of Revenue. We know. If you're a small business owner, you know. I know. And I know what to do when I become governor, which is why I've been writing all these things down. It's a difference between being a career politician and a career American. A career American knows what it's like to have to make payroll. A career American knows what it's like to start a small business from nothing. Remember, if you're out there and you started a small business, when you just talk to your wife or you talk to your husband, honey, what do you think about doing this? Well, we have this much in savings. Let's try it. And you put it all on the line. And then they shut down the state and you lost it all. Or they overtax you. Or they charge you up the yin-yang for liquor tax if you have a bar or a restaurant. I am aware, and that is the difference. That is the difference. I'm here to represent all citizens. So our King County strategy, Elizabeth, I know you're like, I only asked you a simple question, Simi. You went crazy on me. Elizabeth, that is our strategy, to go into those communities and talk to people. That's where I started out, not at the big fancy fundraisers. I've had one big fancy fundraiser. We've had a couple fundraisers. This was the fanciest probably, but the other ones were with love, and they were amazing. But we went to the people, because this whole thing is about the people, we, the people. That's what the career politicians and the elites, they don't get, but we get. That's how we're going to win. And that's why people come to me all the time. I'm a Democrat. I'm voting for you. My daughter, she's a Democrat. She's voting for you. Thank you. I don't care whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. Vote. Common sense is common sense. And that's what people are ready for. And anybody can say common sense. Anybody can say anything. Anything. But here I am. And I will always answer your questions. I will always make myself available if I can. If I can. I'll try. I do my best. Okay. I'm back to the board, you guys. Help me out. Okay, we did that. I'm going down. I'm scrolling down. Lawn signs. Oh, thanks, you guys. I'm seeing some wonderful. Oh, my friend Robin's here. Looking forward to lunch. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. My friends, coming up next week, check our event, birdforgovernor.com. Go to events. Check it out. We are going to be in North Bend, Snoqualmie area at the North Fork Farm. This is an afternoon event. It's beautiful out there. I haven't been yet. I've met the owners. They are amazing. And check it out. So go to our website, check it out. It's going to be on our Facebook page. Please come. It's going to be fun. And I hear this venue is beautiful. This is where you have weddings, and it's amazing. I can't wait to be there. So please. And for Kathy, I see that. Kathy lost her styling salon, cosmetologist, after 24 years because of the shutdown. And again, I will tell you, I had a construction company. I took a hit. I found myself with an arbitration judgment over $60-something thousand that my wife and I paid before the insurance company even stepped up to kick in addition. It's interesting because the other Republicans folks, they tried to weaponize against, Simi had a judgment. Yeah, Kathy Jo, no. And then I had my other business where I had an office in an office building, beautiful, but we couldn't go into because I couldn't have my clients because we were locked down. So it was hard, and I still paid my employees for as long as I could, and I had amazing employees. People are concerned about using emergency powers to address the homeless issue since it was abused. Dee makes a very good point, and Dee, thank you for being amazing. The reason Dee brings this up is because I've said very, very plainly and openly, I'm not messing around when I become governor. Day one, we're going to declare a state of emergency to address homelessness and lawlessness in Washington State. These are not troops in the streets or anything like that, my friends. It just gives us the authority to activate the National Guard engineers to clear 10 acres or so of state land to start to build our infrastructure for mental health and addiction treatment, to where we can bring training and certification programs so that now we can get people off the streets and into an inpatient program. Because housing without treatment is not a solution. It's just delaying the eventual death of a citizen, and they're still going to go out in the streets and offend, go out in the streets and get their drugs, and they're still going to continue. And then they will still find themselves, and they will continue to tax us to death to pay for these hotels or these housing, which again, $6 billion in bonds. That money, where do you think it comes from? Us. Because it's housing first programs. It should be treatment first programs. We are bringing a solution. And we need to have the authority to enforce the law, because look what's happened when you don't enforce the law. Rape is up 51%. Property crime is up 73%. Murder's up 95%. We're number 3 in the nation for auto theft. Our insurance for cars, for auto insurance is through the roof. Homeowners insurance is through the roof. We're number 1 in the nation for burglaries the last time I checked. Washington State, you guys, I grew up here. Our beautiful evergreen state, our Emerald City, is under siege because of poor leadership and failure to enforce our laws. So no, this is Revised Code of Washington 43.06.10. I think it's subsection 7, if you're Googling, right around there, where it talks about emergency powers. It could be 11, so check me on that, but it's not a lot of reading. You guys will see it. It gives us the authority to bring it about. And it's not endless. It's not endless. I would never do that, but we're not going to ask for representatives and senators to sign away your rights, because I would never ask for that, number one. Number two, if they even proposed it to me, I would never sign that. It's a constitutional violation, again, Article 1, Section 1. So, D, tell those folks, no. We are going to clean up our streets. We're going to make our streets safe again. And do you want us to get elected? And then we get elected, and then King County or Seattle or any other city says, oh, no. No, that is not valuing diversity, equity, and inclusion to arrest marginalized citizens who do this or do. No, I'm not waiting for that. Or no, we just need to give them more needles and safer places to. No, I'm not waiting for that, because it has not worked, you guys. If I'm wrong, you tell me. And I'm sure there's some very progressive people out there that'll tell me I'm wrong. And I will beg to disagree, because the science, back at you, is with us. Okay. Will there be a gubernatorial debate? Competitive Fox, love the name, very cool. There should be a gubernatorial debate. Speaking of Pierce County, The Pierce County Republican Party chairman had approached me in the Reichert campaign and had it all set up. Had the venue, had the date, said publicly on social media, both campaigns have agreed. Had the moderators, Ari Hoffman and Glenn Morgan. And then the other side decided that they did not want to debate. And then now they just refuse to debate. And so there will be no debate. Not with this gentleman, unless somehow someone convinces him. He won't debate me. He deems me non-viable, which is okay. He can deem me whatever he wants to deem me. Again, I'm a big boy. I've been deemed a lot of things growing up from the 60s on. And here I am, right? What I would say to you guys is this. If a candidate will not debate a candidate, if a Republican will not debate a Republican pre-primary, then how do you think that Republican would fare if by some chance that person was to advance into the general? Do you think that person would do better against Bob Ferguson, if it is Bob Ferguson and not Mark Mullet? Both are articulate gentlemen. I'm just saying, at some point in time, someone has to have the willingness to debate. And if I ever debate someone, it'll be with respect, with kindness, not that crazy catfight that happened at the federal level. That was crazy. No one could understand. People were being rude to one another. I would never do that to anybody. It doesn't matter what party they're in, but certainly I would give respect to Dave. All right. And I think, hang on. I had a message come in here, you guys. I just want to make sure. I know I'm got to stay close to the mic. Stay close. Okay, this will be quick. And while I'm looking for questions, we're going to go over here. Is there any ways to reduce property taxes in Washington State? Says Lee. So Lee, property taxes are typically imposed by counties at the county level. Okay. There was a bill last year and then this last session. I think it was 5770, Senate Bill 5770, that was proposed to raise property taxes from 1%, which was the cap of 2006, from 1% to 3%. 2 years in a row they tried this. I will never approve a raise in property taxes. But something we should definitely do is look at our veterans, our disabled veterans, and how property taxes affect them. So I'm just pulling up questions that just came in via text, new added. Bear with me. At least I thought I had it, but I'm still looking. Okay. Didn't come up, guys. That's okay. We're gonna stay here. Scrolling. Okay. There is a question I saw. House Bill 1240. Okay, I know I passed it here. So House Bill 1240 passed. I just want to make sure, and this was over a year ago, last year. This is the assault weapons ban, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, and I shouldn't be wrong on that. But I want to make sure I get this person's question. HB 1240, your thoughts. And this is from Ralston J. You guys can keep me posted, but if I'm tracking on this, and Ralston, please make sure I'm not off on this. 1240, that was House Bill 1240, the assault weapons ban from last year. If I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. I don't know everything, but that passed. I don't support it. I'm against it. It's a violation of our Second Amendment, Article 1, Section 24 of our Washington State Constitution. I hope Ralston's on, and if someone else can Google that up for me, because I just want to make sure I completely understand the House bill number because, like I told you, it's difficult to remember 369, not to mention the previous year's bills, Senate bills and House bills. So if someone Googles that up real quick for me, I would really appreciate it. How can people help you, Simi? Mad G, thank you. Guys, donations. Donations helps a lot. And here's one thing that people keep saying. Simi's out of money. He's out of money. He cannot win. He cannot win. Here's the thing. You don't know what you do not know, which is we're going to be just fine on money. Don't you guys worry about the money. We'll take care of that. We're good. Have you noticed that they've been saying we have been out of money for what, a year? He can't win. It's all about money. It's never about the Constitution. It's never about solutions to the issues that are putting Washington State on the precipice. It's never about addressing the issues that are driving people out of the state by the truckloads. It's never about the people. It's always about the money. Have you noticed that? But yet we can't win, but yet we appear to be winning. And so they have to keep attacking, slandering, lying, attacking my character with half-truths, going back 28, 38, 40 years. It's not about the money. It's about the people. And I will say that over and over again until we win. And then I'll just do what we said we're going to do. Folks, we need to get past that nonsense. So please, give what you can. I'll take $1. Your vote. You and your support. Tell someone else. Tell everyone you know. Every single day, tell someone, have you heard about the bird? I'm sorry. The name just works out. Have you heard about the bird? Have you gone to birdforgovernor.com? Are you familiar with Simi Bird? Please tell everyone you know. That is priceless. The fact that you guys are supporting us when others would give up. No, we're doing this thing. And we're going to go to this state convention and we're going to win it. We're going to win it. And we're doing it with integrity. We're doing it with election integrity. And again, I'm hoping someone was looking up House Bill 1240 because it bugs me. I don't like being off on things. I know I'm a little nitpicky on certain things, but that's okay. And let's see here. Seniors should not be forced to move, never. And that's the other thing, Debbie B, pricing seniors out of their homes. And that's what raising taxes do. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, no. And as a matter of fact, again, for those of you who are just now tuning in, one of our solutions with actions is simply this. We are putting a hold in any tax increases. So for those people working in Olympia, those senators and representatives, they will know not to bring anything to my desk that's going to increase taxes or regulation on small businesses or citizens because I'm not going to sign it. We're going to be doing a third-party audit of all state programs and all state offices because we know we're going to save billions of dollars, and we're going to start giving tax relief because we're collecting too much money. Here's something that I have not said, nor have I written on. I'm just waiting for my research numbers to come in. But I'm very comfortable saying this. We over-toll. We toll too much. We should not be tolling as much as we toll. You guys tracking with what I'm saying? Why are we charging tolls for critical access points throughout our state when we have congestion off the charts? So what do we do when citizens have to use alternative routes just to reduce, or you have to get from here to here? You have to. It's a choke point, as we used to say in the military. You ambush people at choke points because it's a vulnerability. The state is utilizing our citizens' vulnerability that they must use this route to get to work, to make a living, to get their children to school. So you're going to toll them? You're going to charge them? That just seems very wrong to me. And so, no, Simi Bird will be looking, well, I'm going to say it right now, I'm reducing tolls in Washington State. So that's going to be changing when we get elected. It's going to be going away, and I'm just looking, it's going to be prioritization, it's going to be phased in, but you're going to see tolls go away in Washington State slowly but surely. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Yeah, it was the assault weapons ban. Mad G, thank you. I don't have to be right. It's not what I was doing. I just wanted to honor your question, and this is a big deal. Second Amendment is a big deal to me. So yeah, assault weapons ban, mag capacity ban. Judge Benavides, we're in the Ninth Circuit. I spoke on this a lot. Judge Benavides has ruled this as not this, but the mag capacity ban for California, similar to ours, almost exact. It's unconstitutional. This is a violation of our constitutional rights, what they have done. The American Psychological Association has already came in their studies. It's not guns that kill people. It's people. It's mental health issues and social economic issues, which we have a mental health crisis in Washington State, and we don't have the infrastructure because of mismanagement and poor leadership. We're going to fix that. We're going to reinvest in our mental health infrastructure in Washington State. So much to say and so much to do. This hour went quick. I could sit here and talk to you guys for hours, but I'm sure some of you are like, no, please don't. I want to thank you guys, and for all of you who sent your questions in, I really appreciate it. And please don't give up on us. When you send your questions in, I promise, just keep sending them in. I will get to them. Send them in quicker. Send them in now, and we'll get to them on the next go around. Every single week, we will have one of our episodes, or again, as I call them, a job interview. I want you to know what you're getting. I want you to know that you have accessibility to your gubernatorial candidate. That's the way it should be. I can't get to everybody all the time, but this is just another way that you can hear from me. And again, let's be classy. Let's be cool about how we campaign. Let's articulate our positions. Let's demonstrate what we stand for. Unity. This is about unity. This is not about far right, far left. This is not I'm a moderate Republican. I'm a MAGA Republican. Well, I am an America First patriot. That's what I am. America, Washington first. It's time to put Washington first for a change. It's time to put our citizens of Washington State first. Those citizens that are struggling, living at or below the poverty line. Those citizens who are working a job welding all day long, digging, operating a backhoe or a bulldozer or hammering nails or framing a house or putting on a roof, working in the sun because it's getting hot out. I'm just saying, the teachers, our law enforcement professionals, all those people who do good work every single day, who try to make their way, they deserve affordable housing. They deserve a state that's not going to tax them to death, an economy that they can stop by the grocery store and get a bag of groceries that's not going to bankrupt them. Come on now. We can do better. It's not rocket science. I'm telling you, it's not. We just need responsible common sense governance, and we need leadership. So let's start sharing what we're about. Tell people what we're about. Do it classy. Don't call names, because we want people to know what we're about. It's about unity. It's about bringing them to us, not us compromising our values or our belief, but bringing them to us, and let's have a discussion, and let's learn from one another. And it is okay to disagree on things. I have a dear friend, Stacy, one of my dearest friends from, 25, 30 years. Wonderful. Stacy does not support the same president I support. And she had a huge problem when she saw that I posted that President Trump advanced to the primary. Well, for me, it was an easy choice. But she still values me and supports me for governor of Washington State. Stacy is not a Republican. She's not even conservative. But she is a good person, and she is common sense. She's a smart person. She is a professional businesswoman. She knows good schools. She knows safe streets. She knows what's right. We just disagreed on that one thing. But she loves me, and I love her. This is what I'm talking about. Have the conversation. Agree to disagree. But let's focus on what we do agree upon. That's it. All right, guys. Go to Bird for Governor, birdforgovernor.com. Give what you can. Tell everyone you know. Direct them to our website. Look at our events. We're going to keep our events calendar open and updated. But until then, oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. I'm going to see you, next week. But we're going to go to Spokane, and we're going to fire up that convention, you guys. Get excited. Tell everyone. Start get those delegates excited. God bless. I'll see you next week. Until then.